I beg your pardon?
Okay.
No, it's not even. You don't know anything about Iran.
So.
Oh, good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Monday, fine people. Hope everyone is doing well. Hope you guys had a great weekend. My weekend felt super short. It felt like it blew by. Most of them do. Trying to get ready to move. So, of course, packing up things, boxing, trying to see where stuff's going, Goodwill, people, all this kinds of stuff. So, weekend was not eventful as far as fun things. Actually, as you can see, I am streaming on my own channel this morning because my main man, Mr. Senor J.R. Wisdom, is traveling this morning. I think he's on his way back to the A town. So safe travels to you, sir. But I wanted to come on because it's been about 2 weeks since I've been on. We actually tried to do our normal live stream not this past Monday, but the Monday before last when I got to Costa Rica and my internet connection wasn't good enough. I think we were probably on for like 15 minutes of me freezing and all that other stuff. And then we let it go. And then, of course, we've been deep into travel and stuff since then. But I've had a couple of people reach out and ask about the show and, what was going on with it and whatnot. And like I said, JR's just been doing a lot of traveling. I happen to have been doing a little travel myself. And like I said, we tried to do it, while I was out the country and stuff, and it didn't work. And so anyway, a lot of stuff has happened, though, since then. And I want to unpack some of it, you know what I mean? And see what's going on out here in the streets, in the town, in the country, in the world, et cetera, et cetera. So before we get into all of the main, hardcore, dreadful political topics like, budgets and disasters and stuff like that, let's, we're going to keep on the flow like we normally do in the morning show and go over some, matter of fact, as far as keeping up with the trend, keeping up with the flow of the show, I am supposed to do JR Wisdom's part and actually say good morning and let you know that it is a balmy 78 degrees here in the metro Atlanta area, and we could be expecting highs of 94 today. And actually pretty clear all day long, like maybe some partly cloudiness in the afternoon, but it's going to be hot and it's going to be clear and it's going to be humid. Welcome to the A. So we got that. That's what the weather's looking like now. Matter of fact, the whole Southeast is going to be like that today. So, cheers, heating up the waters for, more of the storm season and stuff coming through. But before we get to all of that, let's get to some sport right quick. Normally we do this on the back end of the show, but we're going to do it on the front end today because I'm going to probably take up a lot of time with the, the main topic, the, political stuff and whatnot. Let's get a little background music going on in here. So it's been a long time, since I done had to operate a live stream. I usually just get to sit back and co-host and co-pilot and just wait on JR to ask me my opinion about something. But anyway, again, good morning to you fine people that's popped in here. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope you got some fun stuff going on that was more than just trying to damn pack your house up so you could move cross country like I was doing. But anyway, on to the sport, okay? Going to women's basketball. Why am I talking about women's basketball? Because, sometimes, like right now, it can be a polarizing topic, especially if you're talking about the players like, your Angel Reese's and or your Caitlin Clarks of the world. Caitlin Clark has been a lightning rod, right? For many reasons, not really of her own doing. She's a great basketball player. She has no control over who follows her and all this blase. What's been going on with that? Here's the thing, though. There is a 17-year-old French female basketball player that is doing something that I haven't seen in all of women's sports like in a game. I've seen some stuff that came close to it, but I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. Like this chick might find her way over here stateside at somebody's university and then at the W. But I'm gonna show y'all what I'm talking about and let y'all decide on if you think she's gonna be W worthy in a few minutes, and she's gonna be more to worry about than Miss Clark. But let's check it out. Let's get some share screen going on over here. Let's get this lady up here. I hadn't done this stuff in like I don't know how long. Here we go. Check her out.
Tornaby steals it away, clear the runway. Oh, a two-handed throwdown. Alicia Tornaby's putting some sauce on this game.
Some sauce.
What a play. That's what we've been waiting for. That's what the fans have.
Hold on, bro. Like, hold on for a second. Not Griner, Brittany, here in the A, 6'8", maybe 6'9". I remember her coming out of Baylor, big deal. Like this chick can dunk, and she would come down with one hand, some rim action, not quite like rock back Booth sort of situation, but it was like, okay, dunk. Lisa Leslie, I remember. And I actually Googled this to see if this was a regulation 10-foot rim. And it was like, yes, regular rim. This chick is 6'4", 17 years old. We'll run it back one more again.
Tornaby steals it away, clear the runway. Oh, a two-handed throwdown. Alicia Tornaby's putting some sauce on this game.
Sauce on this game, bruh.
What a play. That's what we've
been
waiting for. That's what the fans have.
Two hands, bro. Two hands. So I'm like, Caitlin's a sharpshooter, a dime passer, penetrator, etc., etc. She ain't dunking on nobody. If she getting all of this hype over some passes and some threes, what you think gonna happen when a chick that's two-handed boofing comes down the lane? Yo, W, y'all know what I'm talking about. Angel, y'all, let's go. Let's go. Shout out to my Frenchman, though, you know what I'm saying? Ricochet in the A, you know what I'm saying? I ain't hating on the Frenchman, but I'm just saying, y'all can't let this chick come here and dominate the W, because, yo, if you dunking, it might happen. It might happen. All right, what we got going on next? Had to throw that sport in here, right? Some sport, you know what I'm saying? Oh, let's check this out right quick. And it's so funny because it doesn't have anything to do with local news. It's really kind of like some news, actually Northeastern. It might be New York. But I had to throw it on here because of my man's. Hold on. I don't want to hear you though. So let's mute the commercials so while I get this queued up. But the reason I had to throw my man's in here is his delivery. I was like, first of all, I don't even know if the story is real. I think it's that some people responded to some AI stuff, generated stuff on social media. But anyway, the actual news people showed up, and my man delivers like some Sweet Brown type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nobody got time for that. It's like, this is what my man is walking around with a baseball bat. Let me stop. Let me just run the joints. Right quick. Because my man's gonna tell it better than I am. Let's go to him right quick. All right. Gonna put it on you, my guy. All right. I don't think I'm gonna make you big. Yeah, let's make him big. Stop sharing this one. Stop. And we're gonna share another one. Yo. Rusty, man. All right, here we go. There we are. I was like, did that do correctly? Here we go. Tell him, my man, what happened?
I know to keep it pushing. I know that.
Curtis Jones says he was walking near Robber Street late Wednesday when he saw people running
Larry.
from what appeared to be a large wild cat.
I thought I see the people run. I just see something big just walking, just right over here, right by the boy. It went right over here. I swear, I promise you, it went right over there. They said, "Rah!" I just kept walking. I seen me, see it. So in my head, I'm like, nah, I gotta go, man. I'm out.
Rochester police say officers became aware of a video on social media that appears to show a wildcat, which some people claim is a mountain lion. RPD says it received numerous calls of reported sightings, including one near North Clinton Avenue and Robert Street just after midnight.
About like this big. Word. It was just walking, slithering. Like it was, I don't know, man.
A shelter in place was ordered and then lifted when RPD was unable to verify the presence of a wild animal. Police say no reports have been substantiated. Jones tells me he remains on edge.
You gotta keep this bat right here, man. I'm gonna keep this bat right here, man, just in case. I'm gonna protect this. I ain't gonna let nothing happen to us, nothing, okay? They ain't find it last night. It's still out here. It could be out here in one of these bushes or something. You know, them mountain lions, they be crawling, and, you know, they serious.
The Monroe County Sheriff's Office assisted the investigation by using an aerial drone. The Seneca Park Zoo told 13 Wham all of its animals are accounted for.
I don't play with lions. I don't play with tigers, bears, nothing with the wild. I don't play with those. I promise you. I don't even do roller coasters. I'm good.
Wow. I seen me, saw something. I'm like, why do the news people always find this person? Always find them. Always find them. Live at 6. He gonna tell you all about it. There was nobody else out there to ask about the mountain lion in the neighborhood. All right. On to actual serious news. All right, for real. Getting into serious news. As a matter of fact, let's no, I don't want to do that. What I want to do is we gotta change the music up some. No. There we go. Let's get into you know what time it is, y'all. It's time to talk about ice, baby. Ice, baby. Hey! I'm not the one that's doing it, all right? I'm just covering the story. I'm sorry it's got a nice, catchy, Hey, Ice. What is Ice up to? Well, Ice is icing right now, which is understandable. That's what they're supposed to be doing. That is what they've been instructed to do. But the Dems have introduced a bill. They've introduced a new bill. So let's see what that bill is. And you guys can make a decision on whether you agree with the bill that has been introduced as it pertains to Ice Baby. Let's get this shared up on the screen, y'all. All right, screen share. Ice agents, there we are. ICE agents forced to wear visible ID under new bill. This is what's going on now. Democratic leaders have proposed a bill that will force federal immigration agents to wear visible identification during public enforcement operations. Why is this important? Because there have been a lot of people impersonating ICE agents, right? And a lot of the ICE agents that are out there, they're varying in uniforms. It's not like there's a standard uniform. So sometimes people don't know if these are actual ICE agents or not. And then on top of that, almost all of them exclusively are wearing face coverings, which is funny because like 5 years ago, you couldn't get them to wear face coverings, but I digress. So because of this is what the Democrats are doing. What it says, the Visible Act requires agents in Immigration and Customs Enforcement's ICE and Customs Border Protection, CBP, to wear visible ID, including the agency's name or acronym. The agents will also be banned from wearing face coverings. Just talking about that. The bill unveiled Tuesday was introduced by Democratic Senators Alex Padilla of California and Cory Booker of New Jersey. All right. The White House lambasted Democrats over the bill, saying that instead of spending their time furthering demonizing heroic ICE officers, they should dial back the rhetoric and tell their supporters to stop attacking law enforcement. I actually can see both sides of that argument. There have been some skirmishes with law enforcement. Could you argue that law enforcement or some ICE agents or some people pretending to be ICE agents have been overzealous or whatever in enacting their mandate? Yes. Is antagonizing somebody that's already hopped up a good idea? I don't know. Is that what we see happening? A little bit. Let's check one instance out where maybe some protesters may have caused some injuries to themselves. I'm gonna let you decide though. Let's check it out as soon as I figure out how to reshare whatever it is I'm trying to share, because it's been a little bit since I've had to do. Jayara, where are you to do all of the clicking and clacking that you normally do for us in this fine show? Okay, here we go. All right. Do I have video on this one? Okay, I do have video. What I am going to do though is I am just going to keep rambling for a few seconds while the ad on the video goes by, because we don't want to listen to no ads, especially about CVS. No, we don't want any of that. But like we were saying, the Democrats proposed their bill because they want to have more transparency on who's actually ICE agents, who aren't, blah, 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 blah. They want face coverings off, blah, 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 blah. But then, of course, the administration's countered with, tell your people to stop hindering my people from doing their job, all right? Oh, we're here now. Pause, bro, pause. I was just talking until I had time to get rid of you guys. All right, here we go. Share screen. All right, so you decide if maybe some of these protesters may be causing some of their own injuries. All right, here we go. All right, make sure this is up here nice and big for you guys. All right, yes, it is. All right, here we go. Ouch.
Hey, go.
Hit the gas.
Get run over. Go.
See, what does this say? It's somebody. Bro.
As much as we appreciate.
I appreciated that. My thing is, if protests. When you decide you're going to get in front of a vehicle, a few ton vehicle, I'm just saying, don't I would probably limit my stuff at climbing on their vehicles, bro, because I'm like, your limbs are not going to hold up against an Explorer, a reinforced Explorer. It's not going to do it. It's not going to do it. And they're still going to go pick up whoever they came over there to get. You're going to have to get the Dems to find some kind of plan of attack to actually do something about it politically. That's what I mean, if you really want to try to get something, changed out of the whole situation. Thanks, Con, honey. I don't know. And my thing is, I get the passion and stuff. I get it. And I'm telling you, protest for what you're believing in and stuff, because I get it. There does need to be a balance in what's enacted. I'm just saying, as far as stepping out in front of cars and they telling you they finna hit the gas, and they're gonna do it. They're gonna do it. They hopped up and they zealous as hell to be doing what they out there doing, and then you're gonna jump out there and get on the hood of the car. And then when you get drugged, scream and act surprised about it. That's not adding up. That's not adding up. What are we getting ready to go to now? Is it time to, you know what? It's probably time to go ahead and let's get to some of this bill. Oh, wait a minute. I can't go there yet. Before I get to big, beautiful bill stuff, I've got to send your wisdom some justice right quick. Shh. I don't need you. I was trying to mute you before you started that. There you go. I got to send your wisdom some justice and get a male moment in here for a second. Let me forwards here. All right. Oh, there we are. Let me go back a little bit. Little issue regarding, you know what I'm saying, some male topics right quick. Let me see, like, you know what? And since we're doing that, let's get, all right, check this out right quick. I want to get you guys' opinion on this. Of course, this is a part of the Travis Hunter saga. We all know that he recently got married to his longtime fiance that a lot of people tried to discourage him from doing. He did so without a prenup, etc., etc. Standing on, you know what I'm saying, his decision. You salute him for that. Shout out to the Duke, though. Mr. O'Shea Duke Jackson posted a video this weekend. It was highlighting something as far as the course of the marriage or whatever now, the young marriage. But it was something about halfway through the video that I saw that I was having a discussion with the actual friend of mine, not just looking at stuff on the internet, about this very topic. And I want to know what you guys in the AM think about this. So I'm gonna run this clip, then we're gonna come back to what it's actually about, and you guys can let me know. Here we go. Probably got to share it first though. Let's go to share. All right, there we are. All right, here we are. Don't hear it because I pressed
hotel, and she said that she wanted this. Wait a minute, but where have we seen this before?
Yeah, this is our house. We've lived here for like almost a year, right?
Oh,
almost a year.
I didn't go back far enough. Hold on a second. Right, I think maybe here.
But that was alarming because that was a 2-bedroom, 2-floor luxurious hotel, and she said that she wanted this. Wait a minute, but where have we seen this before?
Yeah, this is our house. We've lived here for like almost a year, right? Yeah. Almost a year. Before y'all say why we have on the rooms, because we're growing adults and we need our own space. Yeah. This is my room. Me and Travis have our own room. This is downstairs, my upstairs. 2.
I just don't even want to be around her sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes we just need to be like a because he gets on my nerves and I get on his nerves. And so we need our space, and that's okay because we're growing.
So this is something that happened before they got married. She was doing the same thing. And now I'm just thinking to myself, I'm not the smartest person in the world, but is it possible if a woman really likes me, if a woman really is feeling me and she wants to be with me? I done got this signing bonus. I'm in Florida. I done got all the money. I ain't got no state tax on this money. Can I absolutely say something here? Would she want to get 2 rooms? Because I'm thinking about something. If I really like you, like
2 rooms. So my man and his new wife, his new bride, just went on vacation. I think they're in Turks, Caicos, somewhere like that. Somewhere exotic, very nice is what O'Shea was breaking down. And in this lovely apartment, they got 2 bedrooms. And then you see, showed the previous interview from a long time ago that they lived together for a year and had separate bedrooms. So my question is, how do you begin a relationship in 2 separate bedrooms? And how is that healthy? And how does that even give any kind of outlook for a long-term nourishing relationship? It starts in 2 separate bedrooms. For why? Y'all both 20 something. And so the reason this caught my attention is because I was having this, like I said, a discussion with a friend of mine, and it was basically come to the conclusion that once the 2 separate bedroom stuff starts, a relationship is done. In most cases. And like, even if this is something that's like, oh, he or she snores a lot, so I'm just going, once that starts, typically the relationship is done, because there's a part of the connection process that's been lost at that point. That's round 1, step 1 to becoming roommates. And then to see this young couple, and of course this young man that everybody, was kind of like, nephew, we don't know, like starting off the rip in separate bedrooms as 20-year-olds in a marriage that's only months old. That's depressing. Could they defy the odds and that just be something that just looks weird on the surface? Possibly. But in most cases, that's not a good start. We're going to start out in separate bedrooms and even traveling. Like most people that's in a separate bedroom situation at home, when they travel, they at least have the same damn bedroom. They like, nah, even when we travel, you in there. Cool. All right. I've got about half hour to go before I have to be on the day job. So I guess I'll get to the actual topics, the actual for real topic today. Which is, of course, over the past 2 weeks since I've been on the last time, the big beautiful bill was passed, and that was right around 4th of July, and then we had the horrible rains and the flooding in Texas. All right, so I have to talk about it, and one of the reasons I feel like I have to talk about it, not just because it's the biggest news of what's going on that's affecting the country. It's just that as an independent YouTuber, I have friends on both sides of the aisle. When I mean friends, I mean YouTube friends that are content creators that are both on the left and on the right. And what I've noticed that a lot of my rights content creators, their stand is about as far as away from Medicaid cuts and flooding as they possibly can. And I find that a little bit ironic because the party that loves the baby so much, you think they'd be all over this loss of little lives in Texas, but for some reason they have maintained radio silence like a mofo. But anyway, we're going to get into all of that. Let's get into some share screen. Let's get up some articles. I don't even remember what else I have for this. Let's pull it up. Let's put it up in the old bookmarks. I hope I don't accidentally shut you guys off. Here we are. Oh, you know what? Very quickly, I want to do this. First, what I want to do is I want to mute you. I want to do this. I want to do this before it seems like I have some negative news or some criticisms on the administration. I want to point out some good positive news on the administration as far as it deals with the economy, energy independence, et cetera. I'm going to cover that right quick. And it's if Trey happens to catch this replay, or if Trey comes in. Trey, you know who I'm talking about in the morning show. All right, let's go over this very quickly, and then we're going to get to the big beautiful bill and the Texas flooding. So let me share this right quick. So yep, let's get to some good positive tips. Good positive story on the economy. I think that the administration needs to get some kudos and credit for. All right.
In decades, the U.S. has opened a rare earth.
Oh, hold on for a second. We done switch to some money. There we go. We on that money. We gotta get some Rack City going on or something. Okay, for real. Let's quit being silly. All right.
Earth mine. Officials say they hope that it will kickstart a new age of American energy independence.
Those minerals are crucial in the manufacturing of both tech products and military hardware. Fox's Kelly Sabiri takes us there.
Rare earth. That's about $1 million you tossed us.
With shovels in the ground, Ramaco opens the first new rare earth mine in the United States in over 70 years. The North Wyoming coal deposit is a treasure trove of 6 of the 17 rare earth elements. The company's CEO says it can provide the U.S. with 150 years worth of supply.
We will be mining it here, we will be processing it on this site, and we will sell it to domestic customers. And that will be our answer to China.
For decades, the U.S. and its allies have banked on China to provide 70% of both the U.S. and the world's rare earth mineral imports. They're known as rare because of the difficulty of extracting the minerals from a raw lump of coal. The only other working rare earth mine in the U.S. is California's Mountain Pass mine.
It's quite different from the other rare earth element mine that's in California. This is in soft rock, it's shallow, it's easy to access, and the volume of it is simply gigantic.
At Mountain Pass's peak, the U.S. was the world leader in extracting these coveted materials in the 1960s. Back then, the elements were used for color televisions and early electronics. Now rare earths are used in everything from the Nintendo Switch 2 to warplanes like Lockheed Martin's F-35 stealth fighter. Each aircraft includes 920 pounds of rare earth materials. The situation around these materials becoming even more dire when in April, China halted exporting them in retaliation to President Trump's tariffs.
They've spent almost $60 billion buying up rare earth assets around the world. So they would not like to see this happen.
Ramaco CEO says they've only studied about a third of the land that they have here, which means that the capabilities could be even greater than what we know today. In Ranchester, Wyoming, Kelly Saberi, Fox Business.
All right. And why is this a big deal? Like they were saying, rare earth elements or rare earth materials are becoming more and more valuable. They already were back in the day, but now as we are increasingly dependent on technology, using more technology, AI, robotics, et cetera, they're becoming more in demand. And China's basically had a monopoly on it. I actually looked up why haven't we been mining in that area in Wyoming, rare earth elements before. And the reason why is because the cost is expensive. And compared to where China had bought up most of the mining sites that weren't inside of their country already anyway, and we're supplying almost 90% of it, they almost had a stranglehold as far as pricing, so they wouldn't be able to compete with pricing. The other reason why we weren't mining our own rare minerals here was because of regulations. That's where the administration stepped in, because of course the current administration has of course gotten rid of a lot of it and is opening up the mining, so they get to take credit for that. And it'll have to be seen later down the line, whatever environmental, effects, with habitats, water, et cetera, happen from, because of it. But it does put the U.S. in a better position as far as manufacturing and tech is concerned, being able to mine and produce and refine some of our own rare earth minerals. Now, the company that's doing the drilling and mining those minerals was called Ramco. So if you're somebody that likes to keep an eye out on stuff like that, as far as investments are concerned, Ramco looks like the company that's doing that. Again, I'm not giving out financial advice. All right. I'm not a financial advisor or a planner. I am just saying that the first rare earth elements mining site in Wyoming has been started because of the administration. Ramco is the company that's doing the mining. If you want to look into those guys and see about trying to get in on the like, as they say, the bottom floor, so to speak, and go for a ride with them, you may want to check it out. I mean, I may do some later research on it and do another video and see where Ramco is. I'm assuming they're probably privately held. I don't think they're IPO or anything, but I have to double check on that. Anyway, keeping in the theme of the economy, the budget, big beautiful bill, et cetera. Let's continue this choo-choo train on over to right now, what we have with the budget and the flooding. All right. I'm going to share something right quick before we start doing some quote unquote deep diving. All right. What we have here. Right. What we have here is we have approval rating. This is from the 12th. Okay. There's a summary of approval ratings here. All right. Gallup polls, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to get to where this is where I want to get here. We've got about 6 or 7 different polls ranging from, and the reason they bring this up is because it's a big historical big deal, because the 6-month period within to Senator Trump's second term, and they're even showing in the first one that his approval rating is historically low compared to a lot of other presidents during the same time. So 6 or 7 different polls. This is where they range from approval rating. The Economist has 42%. We've got 45. We've got 48 here. Pretty good. 48 is pretty good. Then we've got Nate Silver. We've got a 44. We've got a 41. We've got 38, right? So if we average all of these out, it's somewhere around 43%, kind of like it was the first term, right? So is this bad, right? This is something to chuckle about. Shouldn't we chuckle about that?
Wrong. That is absolutely wrong. Proved over and over again. Wrong.
Nope. Can't quite laugh at that, because another national report said that the Democratic Party as a whole has an approval rating of 35%. So if President Trump is historically low at about 42 or 43%, you would think that this would be time to take a victory lap if you were a Democrat. But unfortunately, the country likes you guys even less. And it cited the 3 reasons. Number 1 were for being weak, woke, and out of touch. Definitely check the box on weak. I don't know who your leader is right now. I don't know what your message is right now. I don't know what your strategy is right now in an environment that's almost, as they would say, ripe for the taking. Yep, pretty weak. Woke, I can argue, because some people they throw everything into woke that they don't like and or understand. So I'll leave woke where it is. But unrelatable. Yep. A lot of times Dems come off as unrelatable to the average person. The average person, no matter how they feel about certain communities and how fair they would like to be, the average person would think that sports for men and women should be a no-brainer. Restrooms, things of that nature. And when you defy that sort of mentality, it becomes unrelatable. So then when you have weakness, unrelatability, those 2 things alone will probably help you be in the 30 percentile rate of approval in the country right now. So while President Trump, even with this bill that a lot of people don't like some things in it, immigration, Medicaid, the handling of the Texas flooding situation, you guys still have a worse approval rating. Ow. But I know how. You don't have a voice. I don't know who your leader is. Is it Nancy Pelosi from somewhere trading NVIDIA stock? I don't know. Is it Chuck Schumer? I don't know. Where's your war room? It doesn't look like you have one. Every few days, we get a cute soundbite from Crockett. That's not going to cut it. That's not going to cut it. What we got? Sounds good to me. The U.S. is using Ramco to gain more freedom this way. I'm trying to be fair. I'm trying to call it like I see it. When you depend on another place, they can lord it over you. And I'm not, and the thing is, China is all about dominating certain sectors, and they have their fingerprints all over the globe. Like, you'd be surprised how much China has invested in little bitty old Costa Rica. I've been there like the past 3 summers. They've built soccer fields there, convenience stores, all kinds of stuff invested in Costa Rica. Why? Because it becomes favorable. Costa Ricans is like, oh, China, that's our buddy. And so they sow these little seeds all over the place. So, and then you have dominance in rare earth minerals and things like that. It's a good plan to have. So I have to say that I kind of agree with them counteracting this and having Remco and the company step up and help provide some relief on our end because it's not like we're going to suddenly not need lithium batteries. No, we're going to keep needing them. What was I? All right. Sorry, I didn't see that comment until I started talking about bill stuff. So anyway, can't worry about the approval ratings right now because the Dems' approval rating is even worse than the president's. So let's go to there we go. All I need you guys to do is wait on me to skip you. All right. And I need to go to the 4-minute mark on this too. All right. So on to the big, beautiful bill and some of the components that have some people in an uproar, right? There's a lot of things in the bill. The bill was 1,000 pages. A lot of the people that voted on it didn't see all of the bill. The Democrats even held a session that lasted 16 hours long where they read every word of the dang old bill. So nobody could do that whole, oh, I didn't see that part. But that being said, one of the big sticking issues has been cuts to Medicaid. It was campaigned that some of these programs that our seniors and most vulnerable of us depend on in the country during campaign season, it was told at rallies upon rallies that these items would not be touched. And now, lo and behold, they have been. All right. So, of course, that has caused an uproar in a lot of people. Some of the mindset on who's affected by cuts to things like Social Security and Medicaid may be debatable. When you go on different social media sites, TikTok, Twitter, whatever, whatnot, and people are talking about the Medicaid cuts, you can look in the comments and you can see who they think the cuts are going to. So largely, it's inner city folks that just don't want to work. And so cutting funds to those people, like whatever. But the demographics of Medicaid are largely elderly people. You get Social Security and Medicaid tossed around as entitlements, as though these are programs that are given to a lot of people. And I would wonder why so many would keep doing that. And part of the reason is a lot of these, I hate to say, ivory tower congressmen and women, your big business CEOs, hedge fund owners, et cetera, when they receive their dividends from their preferred stocks, when they receive their capital gains, they get record of this in 1099s, right? When they get their real estate portfolio profits and they get that transferred into K1s and the tax returns, right? This is how they see their income. Who knows when the last time this individual saw a W-2 pay stub? This is why they keep calling them entitlements. W-2 workers, people like most of us, people like you and me, we know that there are several lines up under that gross pay before it gets to net pay. And one of those lines is Social Security. Another one of those lines is Med. So my point is, these are not entitlements for most of the individuals that receive them because they have paid into these programs. But never mind that. Never mind the semantics of things being called entitlements and whatnot, and why certain people will do that because they don't know any better. Let's get to the argument, not only with Medicaid, but with immigration. Not about how it's being carried out or if you feel like it should be done a different way or not, but the effects of immigration, that some of it's been felt now, particularly with farmers, some construction, hotel industry, et cetera, and the new proposal to fix these issues. Let me let Senior President, and I have to, and I'll put this out here. This clip is from an extremely left-leaning individual, so he may have some like ad hominems to throw in or not. I can't really remember, but it's about the quote from the president and the Homeland Security Secretary that we're looking to take away from this. All right, here we go. Let me get ready to share screen. Share screen on you down. There we go. There we are. All right, here we go. Let's go to 4 minutes. Did I get to? Okay. All right. Hopefully I'm in the right spot. Here we go. Make sure I shared it correctly. I did. All right, here we go.
Americans don't want to do.
Oh.
That traditionally,
I want to get right.
Medicaid, filling that automation and 100% American.
Here we are.
Brooke Rollins out here.
Sorry, guys.
But they get other things, and the farmers need them to do the work. Without those people, you're not going to be able to run your farm.
It's called farmer responsibility, owner responsibility.
Yeah, I thought he was going to say something funny.
And now, because of this
What's up, Latasha?
beautiful bill,
What's going on with you? Thank you for stopping by.
The bill that robbed from the poor to give to the obscenely wealthy, immorally wealthy. You have Brooke Rollins out here saying, well, we're going to shift gears a little bit, actually. And we're going to, what's the exact quote? And we're going to move the workforce toward automation and 100% American participation, which will be 34 able-bodied on Medicaid. We should be able to do fairly quickly. Medicaid, filling that void with American participation in a sector of the labor market that traditionally Americans don't want to do. Watch Brooke Rollins, spokesperson for the agenda of Donald Trump. She would not have said this without the pre-authorization of the dear leader, President Donald Trump.
Sticky little fingers.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it.
I'm gonna let y'all talk because it's a fast
44.
line going through here. Skip.
I can't underscore enough. There will be no amnesty. The mass deportations continue, but in a strategic way, and we move the workforce towards automation and 100% American participation, which again, with 34 million people, able-bodied adults on Medicaid, we should be able to do that fairly quickly. Thank you.
34 million able-bodied.
First of all, there's not 34 million people on Medicaid who are not qualified for Medicaid. If you're wondering who's on Medicaid, let's go straight to the source, Donald Trump's Health and Human Services Department. Who is eligible for Medicaid? In all states, Medicaid gives health coverage to some individuals and families, including children, parents, people who are pregnant, elderly people with certain incomes, and people with disabilities. So it's time to get your grandma out of the assisted living facility and get her in the field to pick that cabbage.
Here's the thing. There probably are, out of that 34 million Medicaid recipients, there probably are some adults. I'm trying to figure out how you would be an adult and receive Medicaid and not be like disabled or something, or a caregiver to a senior or something. I don't know, but I'm sure there's some people they can find in that group, but it doesn't look like the majority of Medicaid recipients are going to be eligible or qualified or capable of going out and doing manual farming labor. So I don't know how much of a fix getting Medicaid recipients are to plug in the hole, that the in labor that immigration is leaving. President Trump actually had a better idea, even though it's marked with a little bit of criticism, and I'll get to that, but it's actually establishing more of a program where farmers, businesses, or whatnot, they have workers come in. They don't become citizens, but they participate in this program where they come do work and then maybe go back or whatever, like maybe they come back and forth. The issue that some people are having with that is within that program, the farmer or the business owner is in quote unquote in control of the participant of the program. So they're looking at it or viewing it as some sort of indentured servitude sort of situation. So that's the quote unquote knock on that. But it does, I think, in a way, help plug the hole better than thinking a bunch of old people on Medicaid or a bunch of kids are going to be able to go out there and do it. Because I'm like, that's one of those things that looks good on paper. 34 million people, until you break down and really look and see what those 34 million people are comprised of. So again, that's where you have two conflicting issues with immigration and the big beautiful bill in respect to the cuts on Medicaid, where they're trying to fix one issue with the other as far as public opinion is concerned. Because even though I was messing with the Democrats about having a 35% approval rating, 42 and 43 is not good 6 months in. It's not. I mean, and the thing is that it holds almost true with where he was the first term. He would never go lower than that, like the 43, until the Capitol stuff happened. But he's will hold that at 43. But the thing is, if I don't get how in the first term he didn't really hit the 50s and stay there, and then got reelected, and he still can't hit the 50s and stay there. It's like, anyway, it just doesn't make any sense to me. But it does when you go back and look how the Democrats fumbled the election. It does make sense. But now we've talked about the big beautiful bill and cuts to Medicaid and how they wanted to Band-Aid fix the whole of immigration leaving by using Medicaid recipients. Let's look at something else with the big beautiful bill and the administration, particularly with Doge's interaction within the first 6 months of the administration, and their mass fires in, you need to cut it, and cutting everything and cutting everybody, including individuals at the NWS, National Weather Service, and NOAA and FEMA. And you fast forward to 4th of July weekend, we all know what happened, and a lot of the Camp Mystic people over in Kirk, Texas. But what happened after that? How did the administration handle that? Right? How did not the administration. The administration that represents the Republican Party, the grand old party, the party of personal responsibility, right? The big elephant doesn't pass the buck, right? If the big elephant F's up, we take responsibility. That's what we are the party of. All right, well, let's fast forward to what's going on after the end of the 4th of July weekend. Let's start with the commander-in-chief, because it starts from the top. Let's see what the guy at the top said. Make sure I'm sharing properly. All right. The guy at the top says, up less than 24 hours before Leave It to Comments came through, her boss, Trump, who was levied blame not on the incumbent president, but the previous one. What? If you look at the water situation, that was really the Biden setup, Trump said. That was the Biden setup. personal responsibility. The agency that you let your boy come in here and fire a few hundred people, that was the Biden setup. All right, that's personal responsibility. Take numero un. Let's see what GOP Republican podcaster, influencer, Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk. Let's see. Did he like take a intellectual look at all the things that happened and see if he can assess the root cause of maybe some places that could have been bolstered in what happened leading into the events at Kirk, Texas? Let's see what Charlie Kirk said. As soon as we hit the share button, Charlie says, make sure that popped up over there. Charlie says, Texas flood death toll might not would have been as high if not for DEI. Huh? What? Death toll would not have been that high if not for DEI. Oh, what? I ain't even gonna say it again. Now it's DEI fault. Right-wing podcast and influence Charlie Kirk has claimed that the death toll from the Texas flood would not have been as high if not for diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. Kirk made the comment during this program on the Real America's Voice, saying the Democrats are so despicable. Democrats are not lifting a finger to remember the well over 100 that have passed in a Texas Hill country. He added, you're not being told by the media or anywhere that this death toll would not have been as high if it wasn't for DEI. The Texas tragedy is just the latest example, Kirk went on. It's not just incompetence. This DEI working to undermine the meritocratic institutions, and more people likely died otherwise would not Jesus, and more people likely died than otherwise would have because of DEI. Republicans have made efforts to blame several tragedies on DEI initiatives. I thought inside of the article he was like actually going to go into like a real way of connecting DEI to the actual events that happened in Texas, like actually saying, oh, these call center people that were women or these non-qualified people. No, he just threw the whole term out there and just it was DEI's fault. Like, I was willing to go with you with an actual give me some stuff that we could go back and for. You didn't even do that. You just went, it was DEI. Okay, so that's personal responsibility number 2. Let's see what a congressperson had to say. Since I'm in Georgia, let's go with I don't know, Marjorie Taylor Greene. I think she may have had some new legislation proposed, if I'm not mistaken. And I did cover some new legislation proposed by the Democrats, so why not I show some new legislation proposed by Ms. Greene? So let's check this out. And her legislation, I think, is in response to what happened out here in Texas. Let's check this out. Yep, it did pop up over there, and it says Marjorie Taylor Greene wants to make weather manipulation a felony. Right now, it may only be a misdemeanor. You may even be able to plead nolo contendere for, weather manipulation, getting your storm on, what I'm saying? The weather witch, flying around, eyes turning white, lightning bolts, what I'm saying? It's a misdemeanor right now. But MTG wants to make it a felony. It looks like Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, representative from Georgia, has her head in the clouds. In Saturday morning post on X, formerly Twitter, the far right Republican announced that she was announcing a bill that prohibits the injection, release, and dispersion of chemicals or substances into the atmosphere for the express purpose of altering weather, temperature, climate, sunlight, intensity, any of those things, right? Shooting chemicals in the air, chemtrails, right? If you're doing any of that stuff, felon. Okay? Because apparently somebody shot a bunch of chemicals around Kirk, Texas to make this happen. Because what's been going on in conspiracy land, what's been going on is probably George Soros, right? Let's keep it real. George Soros has been paying people to spray chemicals all over the coastal line of south parts of the country, the southeast part of the country, and going up somewhat of the east coast of the country, right? And he has been doing this. I'm 50 years old. So he's been spraying these chemicals, right? At the end of every summer, every year for the past 50 years and getting away with it as just a misdemeanor, I guess, up until this fall, or not even being charged at all because this great bill is going to make it a felony for doing this from now on, because we just spray these chemicals to target red states. Like, never mind the fact that they're along the coast. Never mind that, right? Never mind that these storms always come to these places. And I'm making a little bit light of this because I'm saying, rather than still even addressing anything with the actual systems that were in play, that this administration's been in control over, this party has been in control over for 6 months, rather than doing anything like that, we've offered up George Biden as a scapegoat, DEI as a scapegoat, chemicals and weather manipulation as a scapegoat. And this is all from the party of responsibility. Got it. So no responsibility. And why does this happen so much? Why does this happen so much? Oh, so speaking of no responsibility, let's check out what the biographer for President Trump had to say about this. The guy that's been writing memoirs for President Trump, right? This is his take. This is his take after the 4th of July weekend tragedy in Texas, right? Make sure this is shared properly. Click over there so I can see now. All right. What did he have to say? He said, call a thing what it is. Trump biographer says President Trump caused Texas flood deaths. Charlie Kirk said DEI did it. The biographer for President Trump, he said Trump did it. That's a conflict of opinions. Well, let's see if he gave me more facts or nuances or things to debate than Mr. Kirk did. Because Kirk just told me it was DEI and left it there. Let's see what my man said. In a scathing social media post, Seth Abrahamson, biographer of President Trump, directly blamed Trump and tech billionaire Elon Musk for the deaths of over, this was written very early, right? More than 50 Texans in recent catastrophic flooding, arguing their political driven decisions led to an avoidable tragedy. I have no difficulty in saying that Trump and Musk caused some of the 50 plus flood passings in Texas, Abrahamson wrote in the widely spread thread on social media platform X. And here's why. See, at least giving me something to go on. These two men had no expertise in disaster preparedness and were told not to cut positions they cut, and were told people would not be here, and people are not here. All right, Mr. Biographer said, let's call it what it is. He said, let's call it what it is. Oh, here's the other one. Okay. Oh, why does this keep happening? There we are. All right, so I wanted to look into what Mr. Abrahamson was saying about cuts to people and people supposedly warning the administration that if you made these certain cuts that they would happen. Like, were these, because again, you can't expect everybody to know everything. They're advised. So were they advised of this? And quote unquote ignored it? Let's see. All right, this is shared here. Let's see. What does it say? It says, Texas officials slam Trump's National Weather Service for botched forecast. All right. What does it say here? The NWS, National Weather Service, was among the government agencies targeted by the Department of Government Efficiency in its effort to gut federal bureaucracy, losing approximately 600 staffers. Right? So we know about that. We know about the rains coming. Right? Let's get down here and see where they said somebody said something. Well, when did they say it? They said we said it in May. May 60 days ago. 60 days ago. Like 60 days ago. In May, all 5 living directors of the NWS, not NWA, NWS issued a letter warning the Trump's cut, quote, Trump's cuts, quote, leave the nation's official weather forecasting entity at a significant deficit. Right? Right? Just as we head into the busiest time of a severe storm predictions like tornadoes and hurricanes, the directors wrote. Our worst nightmare is that the weather forecast offices will be so understaffed that there will be needless loss of life. Pro-lifers. 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 So they were told. And they weren't told by some bleeding heart libs. They were told by 5 living directors. They held the job. They knew the job. They told you, they advised. You ignored them. So it looks like what Abrahamson said is true. And then you don't want to say anything about taking any responsibility for that. That was Biden's fault. Biden was advised that in May. Biden was not advised that in May. Was DEI advised that in May and they ignored it? No. Sorry, Charlie. It wasn't DEI. I'm not even going to address MTG. It's no weather machines and weather manipulation. It's what happens every year, bro. And she knows this. She's 50-something years old from Georgia. She knows this. We prepare for tornadoes every spring. Right? Florida and the coastline, they got to prepare for hurricanes and stuff at the end of every summer. It happens every year. But somebody decided it wasn't important because they wanted to cut enough money so that they could justify tax cut continuation. So that those capital gains will have the lowest of tax rates. So that those dividends will have the lowest of tax rates. Does that sound like middle America to you? All you people that voted against the elites are in charge. The elites are making decisions for the elites. Hundreds of people are not here in Texas for the elites. We just threw them in the elite volcano. Who else is going in the volcano for the elites? So my question is the administration going to backtrack on some of these guttings of some of these agencies? It's not even mid-July yet. Tomorrow, day after that, you can say the halfway point of July. Okay, we're halfway July. My point is storm season is in full effect. Texas cleanup is not going to be for a minute. And what's going to happen is tropical storm A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, bam! They're going to keep coming one after another. And how is an agency that's already stretched thin, that's had funds diverted from their agency to an alligator Alcatraz, how are they supposed to handle all of this? And who's going to take responsibility for it? And is this what you voted for? So now you got to worry about storms hitting. You got to worry about your ailing parents that might be on Medicaid not having coverage. All of this for the elites. Is this what we wanted? I don't know. I don't know. And why does this keep happening, particularly to Texas? Somebody has an opinion on that. Somebody has an opinion on that. Someone at The Guardian. We'll check out their article right quick at The Guardian about why this seems to keep happening to Texas as far as not being prepared for things. Did this share? All right, it looks like it did. The Texas way. Why most disaster-prone U.S. state is so allergic to preparing for disasters. It faces hurricanes, heat, drought, rising seas, and, as last week shows, deadly floods. But despite the clear need for preventative action, there's not the political mood. Why not? I don't know. Let's see. Greg Abbott, Republican and the governor of Texas, has had plenty of consoling words to offer the following. Stop it, phone. Shh. Wow, I can't believe that. Anyway, I was right in the middle of trying to read something. Anyway, following the tragic flash floods in the Hill Country that have deleted more than 100. And I don't know why I bother editing these words. I've been off the partner program for I don't know how long, and nobody sees these videos. I'm gonna read it. That have killed more than 120 people, including 26 girls and counselors at the stricken Camp Mystic. Our hearts grieve for this community and surrounding areas, he wrote on social media. May God bring comfort to every family affected. Amid some refrains, Abbott's response so far have been notably lacking in one regard: any assurance that Texas will tackle the problems that contributed to the calamity in Kirk County over the 4th of July weekend, when the Guadalupe River rose like a torrent 26 feet in 45 minutes. Accosted by reporters, the governor had indicated he will allow debate in Texas legislature on the state's flooding warning system, but has given no guarantees on the outcome. Right? Texas lawmakers painfully close introducing statewide initiative to improve emergency alert just a few months ago. The bill, HB 13, would have set up a network of outdoor sirens. God, we got sirens here. I've had them forever. For this sort of fatally lacking in Hill Country. But the plan was killed in the state Senate, where the members griped about its cost. Cost too much. Cost too much to protect people here, right? To observing what might be called the Texas way. It's a singular devotion of its political leaders to rugged individualism. I mean, I get that. And their equally passionate disdain for government action, even if it's saving lives, I guess. And there is a familiarity to all of this. Take the massive winter storm in Uri that struck Texas in 2021, which brought the state's notorious eccentric power grid to a standstill, leaving almost 5 million people without heat in the wintertime, without heat, and more than 200 not here. Similar numbers. After the catastrophe, the state did make limited efforts to prepare power generations for future extreme weather, allowing Abbott to boast that everything that needed to be done has been fixed in the power grid in Texas. Yet, 4 years later, the state main grid operator, ERCOT, is still warning that a repeat Uri would carry with it an 80% likelihood of rolling blackouts. Repeat, the power company said, still warning that if there's a repeat in Uri, meaning that same type of weather situation, it'll carry a 80% now, here's the thing. How often does it snow like it did then in Texas? So I give them that. Not often. But if it does, they're telling you there's an 80% chance that this will happen again. That's far from everything needed to be done was fixed. That's different from that. That's different from that. The power company is telling you, you made some improvements, but if it does snow like that again, y'all are done again. Okay? Now, what's going on, American Dream? How goes it? Thank you for stopping by. Now, with that being said, I got a weird question though with Texas, and considering the Texas flooding and that snowstorm for 2021, right? And my question is, why the hell does stop that one? Why the hell does Texas keep reelecting Ted Cruz? Does anybody know? I'm being so seriously right now. I'm being so seriously. I'm being so seriously. And the reason I'm being so seriously is because I was just reading that article, right? And they described, I ain't let the time get away from me too much either. They described like these things kind of quote unquote, when it does go bad, it goes bad horribly in Texas because it's kind of like the Texas way. Some of the politicians don't want to spend money on certain things. Some of it's an attitudinal thing about rugged individualism. I get that. And the part of me getting that, the rugged individualism, the cowboy mentality, the macho mentality, all of those things coming together is why I do not get why they keep reelecting Ted Cruz. I'm not saying vote for his Democratic opponent. I don't understand how he makes it out of the Republican primary. I don't understand why y'all are not done with this guy. He's not a Texan, number one, right? Yeah, I hate the elites. He went to damn Harvard or Yale, even though you can't tell half the time. So it's not like he's a true blood Texan. But then it's not like any of that is a prerequisite. You don't have to be from a state. But I'm just saying, with the type of personality that you feel that the state of Texas has, Ted Cruz does not fit that junk. He let somebody slander his wife and his pops. What regular Texan will allow that? Regardless of whether you will agree with a man politically or not. What true blue-blooded or red-blooded Texan will allow you to slander his wife and his pops? I don't know any. I know a couple of Texans in Houston, and they wouldn't have it. Matter of fact, his dad's name is Pops, and I dare you to say something about Pops in front of him. Please, Texas, y'all let this guy do it. Reelected him. Okay, that's just on a personal level. On a real level with the job, when they were freezing to death in Texas in 2021 and didn't have adequate power and heat, etc., was your fine congressman boots on the ground trying to rally the troops, trying to get things to happen? No, he was in Mexico. And he didn't hurry back either. Y'all no harm, no foul him on that. No backbone for his pops, no backbone for his wife. Wasn't here when y'all was freezing and dying. No harm, no foul, reelect him. What happens now? 4th of July weekend, of course, people go out of town. Nobody's faulting you for being gone when it happened. But when you found out that it happened, did you leave the wifey where she was, or she could come if she wanted to? But I got work to do. I got to go see about my Texans. I put these boots on with my suit so I can look like I'm from Texas. And I add a little bit of draw with my slang and my talk so I can seem like I'm from Texas, even though I went to an Ivy League school and I'm from Cuba. I'm sorry, I think I was born in Canada. But I'm going to go see about my people. I'm going to rustle up me a ride back to the stateside and I'm going to say about my people. No, let's see what Ted Cruz did. Vacationing Ted Cruz claimed that he returned to Texas as soon, as fast as humanly possible. And that crumbled, right? Said that crumbled. Why did it crumble? Let's see. Why did it crumble? Ted Cruz could have booked numerous flights from Greece to Texas before the one he boarded, despite his office claiming that he came home from his European vacation as fast as humanly possible. The Daily Beast newsletter, The Swamp, revealed that, Monday, it came back on, Cruz was caught touring, the Parthenon in Greece, 24 hours after the Guadalupe burst its banks, sweeping away dozens of little lives and souls, pro-life, in an unspeakable horror whose full effects were still unfolding. Yep, this was written on the 7th, so we know a lot more people were lost between that time. So 24 hours later, 24 hours later, 20 full freaking day after children were swept away. You were touring the Parthenon. This is your king, Texas. For real, Texas, man. Get him out of there, bro. I ain't saying put a dim in, but y'all need another Republican. This dude has gotten fat off of you guys and delivered y'all next to nothing. You know what I'm saying? Besides some votes that's needed in Congress to whip something by. But as far as for Texas itself, bro, that guy, have fun with that. Anyway, stop screen share on that. On a different note, but start my rants about the big. Oh, see, I did say I was going to leave this, but really quickly, no. Really quickly, I'm going to share two more quick stories, and then I'm gonna wrap it up. Two more quick stories, and I'm going to wrap it up. Right? Let me get these queued here. I have to do this. I sat here and talked about Ted Cruz and all of the other stuff with this, with the flooding and budgeting and all of that other stuff. I was like, let me make sure that we properly do this. Pause here. All right. Maybe a little video there. All right, so let's go here right quick. Share screen. All right. We have to do this because these young ones are not faceless, nameless individuals. These are real people that had real lives, real families, and a lot of them were real young. This was an act of God, right? These things happen. We try our best as humans to mitigate acts of God that we know tend to happen during certain times of the year. But my thing is, when we talk about ICE and immigration and the need for immigration, as soon as someone that's not supposed to be here has too many drinks and they take the life of someone on the road, we are immediately notified by the GOP. We are notified of what happened. We're notified who did it and his or her legal status, and or how it would not have happened if that person wouldn't be here. And this is why we need strong borders, et cetera, deportations, build walls, et cetera. Anytime there's an issue that causes the need for reflection from the GOP, they'll always hit the Dems with, this is not the time for politicization. Even though every time something is at their benefit, they hop right on it immediately. So why am I saying this, and why am I bringing up Counselor Miss Catherine here? The same reason I did for Laken Riley. You may not know that name, but I do. Laken Riley last year was a nursing student, I believe, at the University of Georgia, was out on a jog on her campus early one morning, and an immigrant that had not obtained status, that did have a criminal record, that had been apprehended one time before and was released, took her life. Lake and Raleigh. And as soon as it happened, I knew about it because, again, as an independent, I'm subscribed to everything, left and right. So, of course, the right leaning side of social media was lit up with the story and immediately let us know about it, immediately jumped on the need for tougher immigration. If we want to talk about preparedness, if we want to talk about those in power making decisions on where our funds need to go, the taxpayer, because I think what gets lost is that these government members, Congress, these officials, they're supposed to be stewards of our dollar. It's our dollar. So when they're making decisions on where to take our dollars and decide whether they want to use it to bolster preventative agencies and measures to help mitigate and minimize things like this happening, then these people deserve a face. These people deserve to be known. Okay? 19-year-old Catherine Ferruzzo deserves to be known. 19. Just found. Her family had to wonder for days. "27 counselors along with her." Right? They're raising a foundation, the Catherine Ferruzzo Foundation. It's being established to honor Catherine and her compassion for those with special needs and learning differences. Her passion for people with special needs and learning disabilities. She's gone. She's gone. If those people had not been let go in FEMA and in the NWS and NOAA, would the same thing still happen? Possibly, but we don't know now. We don't know now because that agency is gone. It did have hundreds of people taken out of it. And they were told in May that this was going to happen. They were told in May this was going to happen. Another Mystic counselor who passed in the Texas flood, remembered as loyal and beloved. It's Chloe Childress, another counselor. She graduated from Kincaid School earlier this year. And Jonathan Eade, the head of Kincaid School, remembered Childress as someone who had a remarkable way of making people feel seen. That's a big deal to folks that aren't seen that much. The wallflowers, the people that aren't the class clowns, the jocks, the popular folks, the people that are just always kind of laying back in the weeds, don't make up a lot of fuss. Having someone see you is a big deal. She had a remarkable way of doing that. And a steady compassion that settled the room. She's not here. That's Miss Childress. Miss Chloe Childress. According to Eads Childress, loss of life uplifting this selfless and fierce commitment to others. A loyal and beloved friend to all that knew her. Chloe led with empathy. Her honesty gave others the courage to speak up. Her resilience helped others push through. Her joy so presented in all the little things reminded all of who knew her to keep showing up with heart. That's what the lead at our school said about Miss Chloe Childress. All of these people have names. All of them had lives. Almost all of them were too young. So again, in the debates about budgets and when things just become numbers, remember these numbers have faces and names. Remember these faces, remember these names when you're debating about where funds need to go and how beautiful a bill is. I mean, is a bill really that beautiful when it strips away resources that could protect the Chloes of the world, the Catherines? And I went with the teenagers because I don't know if I could read the ones with the littles in it. We love the kids. All lives matter. Pro-life, unless it costs too much. And it's not in somebody's belly right now. Is that what we're saying? I'm pro-life unless it costs too much and it's not in a womb, then I don't give a damn. Shout out to the elites. All right, man, Con Honey, folks, I appreciate y'all checking this out, man. I done rambled for about an hour and a half. I got to get to my day, to my day black job. I appreciate y'all checking this out, man. I'm gonna try to jump back out here. I think the normal show will likely be on Friday at 9:30 on JR's channel with JR. But if he happened, because I hadn't spoken with him since he was traveling in today, but if there's some kind of reason that he's busy, I'll try to do the same thing and do the live on my channel. None of this stuff may not even be here at that time though, because like I said, I'm breaking this place down so I can get back out west. But again, I appreciate you guys for checking this one out. I hope you have a great Monday. I hope you have a great start to your week. Hope you guys take care. To the next one, peace, and stay informed, you guys. Thank y'all.